Hello and welcome to Sports This Morning. I'm Cecilia Omogbe.
I am Tayo Salam. It's great to have you join us again.
All right.
All right, then this is what the show looks like. We're starting off from right here in Nigeria. The Nigerian Women's Football League Premiership was back-to-back wins for FC Robo of Lagos State after they defeated Osun Babes by 3-1. Two other teams have also started the season with 2 straight wins.
Absolutely. Edo Queens, Bayelsa Queens, all of them are the ones that started the season with 2 straight wins. Of course, in that game, we got our first hat-trick of the season. Hat-trick hero, talking about Monday Gits. She scored all 3 goals at the Legacy pitch on Wednesday night. Okay, also in the program, well, it was Firmino who ensured that Liverpool triumphed once again, their home unbeaten home record, stretching it up to 66.
Wow.
I'm like, what are they targeting? 100? But then Firmino right here, the big smile on his face, he needed to come out big, and he did. And that was why after that goal, he sprinted off to the last minute to go, you know,
celebrate.
More like, give it to the fans. Yeah. This one is for you guys.
Great win for Liverpool. Firmino striking really late in that game to take them to the top of the Premier League ahead of Tottenham. For Tottenham and Jose, they'll be ruining their missed chances in the game. Also on the show, still talking football and still in England, Big Sam is back in management after he was appointed to replace Slaven Bilic as a coach of West Brom. Big Sam is back.
I missed him though, 2 years
and a half. I missed him as well. Yeah, Big Sam is synonymous with the Premier League. Whenever he's away, you tend to feel his absence. So it's good to see him back. Sad to see Slaven Bilic get sacked, must be said. Very unfortunate what has happened to him. But we know football is a very, very ruthless and cruel sport, and if you're not getting the results, the owners tend to panic, and usually leads to sackings.
Okay.
We'll come back to that later.
The blunt less bleeds still hard a coach. Okay. I know, right? All right. Let's start with the NBA, of course. We have the big stars, you know, actually returning to preseason for the first time. LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Just take a look at some of the games played over the night. Yeah?
Right. 4 games are played last night. Stroke early this morning, starting off with the Cavs and the New York Knicks. It was 100-93 in favor of New York. Elsewhere, the Chicago Bulls 124-103 over the OKC Thunder. The Blazers lost against the Denver Nuggets 126-95. And the big matchup of the night was between the Lakers and the Phoenix Suns, ended 112-107. In that game, the 2 superstars, AD and LeBron James, made their preseason debuts and expected them to play very limited minutes. AD, 18 minutes, 10 points. LeBron James, 15 minutes, 11 points. And,
2 rebounds and 2 assists he added with that.
There you go. And, I mean, that's the way it should be. You got to ease these guys in. Especially after they just finished playing the NBA Finals just 2 months.
Where they had to leave everything on court.
Exactly, yeah. So the coach, Frank Vogel, is doing the sensible thing. And that's why, as the preseason progresses, they'll increase their minutes and they'll be ready for December the 22nd. Let's not forget Kyle Kuzma.
December 22nd is just next week.
It's just around the corner. I mean, look at that.
It's so close right
Let's play a thought for Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah, 23 points on the night.
Scorers in that game. And this is going to be, was drafted in 2017, so his 3rd season. He's got to really have a breakout season.
I need to step out of the shadows of these 2 guys. I mean, before they came on, he was just trying to carry the team, but somehow he hasn't been able to, you know, I mean, he has to.
He has to be the consistent
performer.
Third wheeler for this team, for LeBron and AD. When AD and LeBron are not playing too well, or when they need somebody else to step up, when those 2 guys are not having the best of games, it's got to be Kyle Kuzma, because he's a very, very talented player.
He's a fantastic player.
2020-2021 season perhaps will be his breakout season.
Hopefully his breakout season. But from the way AD and LeBron played, you know, after the pandemic, I know that in the bubble, these guys are not really ready to let it off. So they still have the steam, everything's still there. You can see I get up to 40 points from AD. In like, yeah, you can.
I mean, AD is in his prime. LeBron is not your average 36-year-old. He's a is a different animal entirely.
Yeah.
It's playing at a very
It's in
high
a different
level.
class.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the age thing, of course, is going to slow down, but I still expect LeBron to bring it full throttle this season for the LA Lakers, especially if they want to retain their title and win an 18th NBA championship. Let's leave basketball for now and come back home and talk about the National Sports Festival. It looks like finally this date is going to stick because all the parties involved seem to be on the same page. The PTF and now the Edo State Deputy Governor was in charge of organizing the competition. It's come out to say February 14 is good. We'll be good to go.
He's smiling right now because the last time he spoke, he was like, I mean, PTA, why can't you just think about the athletes? The welfare of the athletes, at least, if you're not thinking about the organizers. But then these athletes, I mean, generally the third,
that's not the word insensitive.
Yeah, I said insensitive to the plight of the athletes. And now they kind of listened to him. They heard him because he's the chairman of the local organizing committee. He's going to make sure everything will go smoothly. And if that date is retained, we don't know what he would have done. But then he's smiling out, saying, okay, fine, we've agreed. We're happy with that new date, which is February 14th.
We discovered that the calendar is so tight because from March, the qualifiers for the Olympic Games will start. And so the only window we have is February. And obviously, we will not want to disrupt the preparation for the Olympic Games because that is the highest sporting event that any athletes will want to participate in. And our sports festival will actually help to shape in our athletes and also discover new ones. So we discovered that February will be a perfect date for the Edo 2020 Sport Festival to hold. So from the sport festival, they just go into their Olympic trials, and maybe the sport festival will help them to shed some weights that they will have gathered during the lockdown and during this pandemic. So we accepted the February 14 date, and we are quite comfortable with it, flowing from the engagement that the athletes will have in March, and also remembering that putting January 3rd was not going to be a good idea for the athletes.
Okay, well, he's happy with the 14th and all that. February 3rd also wasn't going to be, January 3rd wasn't going to be a good one for the athletes. So right now we have a date.
Common sense has prevailed, like I expected, and the athletes can now start, of course, can enjoy a bit of holiday and start focusing on the competition starting the 20th edition of the National Sports Festival starting on Valentine's Day. That's it for that. Let's move on, come back home and talk about the NWFL Premiership. Exciting times for women's football in the country. Match day 2 games played across 7 centres yesterday, including 2 matches right here in Lagos, and we're there to cover those 2 games. Results coming from the centres, starting with FC Robo with a 3-1 win over Osun Babes. Monday Gift with a hat-trick in that game. Royal Queens edged Abia Angels 1-0. Rosemary Adesina scoring a late goal in that win. Dream Star, unfortunately, lost back-to-back games now. This time they lost at home against the Edo Queens. Juliet Merilis own goal condemned them to that loss. Elsewhere, Cecilia Sunshine Queens and Rivers Angels and Delta Queens 6-2. Tennis scoreline just in the second game of the season. Fantastic. 2 players are scoring braces. Brume Ikewa and Dominance Dubajo scoring 2 goals each for Rivers Angels in that game. Sunshine Queens 2-0 over Conference Queens, Sean Fakunle and Goodness Onyebuchi on target. Pelican Stars 1-1 against Ibom Angels. And last but not the least, surprising result of the day. Nassau Amazons losing again to Bios Queens. Amarachi Okonkwo at home.
Again. I mean, if you look at the two stars, I mean, everyone keeps these two teams. When you're looking at the national team, you go to Bayelsa Queens, you go to Nassau Amazons, Edo Queens, Rivers Angels. They have all the national team players and all that. Yeah, Mary Ajo and all that. All of them are all here. But what happened to Nassau Amazons? You're wondering what is it? I think it's the way Bayelsa Queens started the season. I mean, they're ready, so to speak. They're ready for something different. So are you saying Nassau are
not ready? I mean, what's your point? They are all supposed to be ready.
I mean, of all the teams, okay, they're all ready. But Bayelsa Queens, I mean, the way they started, the bright start. That's the thing. I think, okay, it's early days, you know. It's just 2 games, so we shouldn't start. We have like 100 and something games to be played and all that. So 26 weeks. So,
anyways, Chris Danjuma, I imagine we'll be having sleepless nights.
Obviously,
in recent, in subsequent weeks coming. Let's come back to Lagos and talk about the game we're seeing right now.
Yeah, of course, that's the game between FC Robo and Osun Babes. I mean, it was a game that was made for television. It was a good game on both sides.
3-1.
It's just that 3-1 it ended. Osun Babes, maybe they had time, really. Maybe got into Lagos early and all that without having some issues at home and everything. Yeah. And, you know, you mentioned that you hope that, you know, what happened would not really affect them. They got to Lagos as late as 11:30 p.m. at night. That's on Tuesday night and all that. You're having a game the next day at 4 p.m. So it's not an ideal situation. But these two teams, they actually gave their best. And on Monday Gift, you mentioned that earlier, she had a hat-trick on the day. And, of course, you have a Bibat also scoring for Osun Babes. But somehow, you know, when you're playing against an opposition team who went away from home to get all 3 points all the way from Lafia, they got back home not tired and continue with the way they started the opening game and all that. It's always going to be a very, very difficult game. But somehow, well,
Cecilia, this was always
concede more.
This was always going to be a win for FC Robo. You said fantastic start to the season. Now they've come home. I expected them to fully get the job done, especially if you want to consider and factor the issues Osun Babes are currently facing. So, straight up win, no upsets, just as expected. And Monday Gift was the star of the show, like we said. Let's take the post-match thoughts now coming from FC Robo's camp. I'm talking about the coach, Emmanuel Osaon, as well as the hat-trick hero, Monday Gift.
I feel very happy and I'm grateful for the Almighty God. At least, like I said, and I want to quote me, I said, as we approach the bridge, we will know how to cross it. I never said I wish to, but I know that every coach, these 14 coaches, are all wishing to go for the Continental. But for me, as I approach the bridge, I will know how to cross it. You understand? So I feel so excited and I give glory to the Almighty God. She can do better. The game does not end here. This is just a stepping stone. You don't know who is watching you. You don't know when the person comes in. The person may not witness the first 2-3 goals. The one you are losing might be important to that person. So you need to be consistent in performance.
I would say our opponents were actually a good side also, and they really gave us a tough game. But I think our hard work really pays. Our target is to top the league and also to represent Nigeria in the CAF Champions League, which I think every other team also wants to. So I think that is our target, our main target.
For you, do you have your personal target?
Yes.
What's your personal target?
It's to take FC Robo to the CAF Champions League. Yeah.
Yes, Monday Gift. This guy's already looking forward to representing Nigeria in the maiden CAF Women's Champions League. It's still early days, but it started so well.
Of course.
2 wins out of 2.
Now, what a way to start the game and all that. Then we have another game in Benin also, in Lagos also. And this time around, Edo Queens and also Dream Stars. Dream Stars ladies, they went away from home. They lost to the other Queens.
You're not interested in what the Osun Babes ladies have
to
say.
Yeah. Where we're running to, of course. Osun Babes, mentioned earlier that they had some difficulties trying to get, into Lagos and all that. But somehow the issues have been resolved because all they needed to do was to capture and then ensure that the salaries will be paid. And of course, they resolved the whole issue. But they came here and tried to get something out of the game, but they just couldn't. Conceded 3 goals.
Close but no cigar.
Yeah.
They are morally down. They are emotionally down because we arrived Lagos late, so they couldn't pick up before the match. It's as if we managed to play that game, but when we are talking of FC Robo, you cannot underrate them. They have standard and quality players any day, anytime. But we believe we can still curtail them. Had it been, we got into the match quickly. We arrived Lagos late yesterday, around 11:30, because there were some issues we were settling at home that did not allow us to move on time. So when we got to Lagos to find what they will eat it was problem. We were searching for food all around. Before they could settle down and sleep was around 1 o'clock. And we had to come for losing this morning. We left the field around 10 o'clock. We got back to the hotel around 12. They need enough rest. They couldn't rest well before we played the match.
Look at the game. The way they scored the 3 within 10 minutes or so, it happened anywhere. So we just pick ourselves up and we try to come back from, you understand. But I don't think it's protest. It's football. Their strong side too. It's FC Robo. So we are better side. So.
Yeah, I mean, she got the goal for them. I mean, at least they got something. Just one goal. By the end of the day, they lost all 3 points in Lagos. 2019, they lost, I mean, back-to-back to FC Robo. Somehow they got their, their medicine, so to speak. Yeah.
Let's go to the other game in Lagos. Edo Queens and Dreamstar. Not a good start for Dreamstar at all. Back-to-back losses. Barely managed to escape relegation last time out, and 1-0 to Edo Queens. Edo Queens as well have started the season with 2 straight wins, and for Edo Queens, they got lucky, but because an own goal got them all 3 points. But for Dreamstar, Cecilia, I think for Dreamstar, they just want to survive. And I don't see a lot of ambition to try and perhaps win or qualify for the continent.
I mean, they struggled last season, as you mentioned, and they managed to just get off the way. But then if you're facing a team like Edo Queens, where we mentioned that Choma Wogo, of course, came from Belarus. You have some star players who came from abroad to join them. You also have some national team also, among this particular team. So if you're able to hold them to that 1-0 and not concede up to 3, 4, 5 goals, like I think that's a bit decent. It's a decent result, to me, because I wouldn't like, just look at the girls. I mean, the second season now in the NWFL premiership. So it tells you that there's a team that will definitely grow. Just maybe all they need, maybe a little bit of luck, to have, just try and get, on the scoring sheet and all that. Because if you don't score goals, you can't win games. I think that's what they need. Let's, get reactions coming from the Dream Stars camp.
No, there's no missing link. But my regret today is my experienced striker, Choma Wogo, that actually got that second yellow card and all that. In my opinion, I repeat, in my opinion, that second yellow card was not called for because she was backing the ball, she was moving. You understand? So it's the defender that actually slammed the ball upon her. So I don't see where she actually infringed. But the same, the referees knows better. I just want to build up from there and then move on. Excellent officiating. I did not expect less because most of the referees we have now are referees that have gone for the MA course, are waiting FIFA batch and all that. They've all doing where they have their name to maintain. None of them want to mess up, and irrespective of wherever you are playing, whether home or away, all you just need to do is to prepare your team well and get there, and then you get the desired result. I want to appreciate the Nigerian Referees Association so far. What they have, if we can continue this way, the sky will not only be our limit, that will be the beginning of our successes in terms of officiating in Nigeria. If they are not good, they will be in the premiership. You saw them. They also have their own share of the game, though no chances as far as I'm concerned. But they gave good account of themselves. So I want to also encourage them to keep working harder and do more.
I feel very good to come in from the bench and become the hero of the match. I've been, trying to play better than ever before and putting on my best in training, just to make sure when I came in from the bench to give out my best.
Yes, I have a lot of international on the opposite side, a lot of internationals. Some of them just came from Europe, some are Falcon players, and my players are just upcoming players, and they gave them this kind of serious fight. So I believe if they can give them this kind of fight, there is no team we cannot challenge.
Yeah, Edo is a better side. It's just that we have to go and continue our training so that we can make use of our chances. We are just coming up, so the experience, we are just gaining the experience. But with time, we are going to get it.
All right, welcome back. Okay, is this our reactions coming from, those ladies and all that, what they had to put in to try and get wins and all? It was really difficult. But then, enough of the Women's League.
Let's move on with the show. Let's go talk. Let's talk about the English Premier League. But before then, you can be a part of the show. I mean, there's a lot to talk about today. Arsenal fans, you managed to get a point against Southampton yesterday. Your captain, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, ended his goal drought as well. So perhaps something to smile about, something to cheer up Arsenal fans this morning. The big game of the night was between Tottenham and Liverpool, and I have to say that game totally lived up to expectations. Very exciting, unlike the recent big games we've seen in the Premier League. At the end of it all, it was Firmino scoring the winner for Liverpool, and as a result, they are now on top of the lot. Liverpool fans, you can talk to us. Do you think you'll retain your title this season? Tottenham fans as well. I know there are a few Jose Mourinho fans around. What do you make of that result? Talking about the result, let's just give it to you straight away. Games played last night in English Premier League match day 13, starting with the game between Arsenal and Southampton. Ended 1-1, like we said. Theo Walcott coming back to haunt his former club, but Aubameyang scored the equalizer. Elsewhere was a 5-2 win for Leeds over Newcastle. Fantastic win for Marcelo Bielsa's team. Surprisingly, Everton went to the King Power Stadium and defeated Leicester by 2-0.
It's Brendan Rodgers, that's the problem. Brendan Rodgers. Carlo Ancelotti always beats Brendan Rodgers, so that's the problem.
All right, Fulham goalless against Brighton. Liverpool 2-1 over Tottenham. Fantastic game of football at Anfield. Last but not the least, Sebastian Haller scored a fantastic acrobatic goal to earn West Ham 1 point against Crystal Palace. All right, then we're not going to be doing the review alone. Our guest is joining us from London, sports analyst Ada Peters. Ada, good morning. It's great to have you on the show.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Very fine, thank you. Great to have you. And let's just cut to the chase and start off with the big game of the night. Tottenham taking on Liverpool. And I said it before we came to you that unlike the big games that we've seen this season, yesterday's one totally lived up to the billing. Very exciting. Loads of chances created between these two sides. And at the end of it all, it was Liverpool coming out with all 3 points. But for Tottenham, they ruined all the missed chances that they created but didn't convert yesterday.
Yes, indeed, it was clash of the big guns in the Premier League yesterday. Liverpool showed that they were the reigning champions, especially in the first half. They dominated the game. You know, possession was really lopsided in the first half. But Mourinho introduced he shuffled the team a little bit in the second half, which was fairer with the possession. Tottenham hit the post twice in the game, but at the end of, and so did Sadio Mane. He also had a missed chance as well. But at the end of the day, Liverpool won the game, breaking Tottenham's heart at the 90th minute. It was quite intriguing.
That's quite the apt way to describe it. Was heartbreaking. I was like a dagger to the heart of Jose Mourinho. You could see it on his face. Very disappointed. Like I said, especially when they refused to kill the game off when they had the chances. Bergwijn, especially Harry Kane, missed 2 glorious chances to perhaps wrapped up the point for Tottenham.
Yeah, it was a crafty counter-attacking classic Tottenham masterclass with the equalizer from Son Heung-min, and that just that didn't reflect the possession, but that just made the game just bubble up. And after that, both sides were going at each other. Even the managers after the game had a word for each other. Shots were fired on both sides, setting up more of like a World War III in the repeat fixture when Tottenham hosts Liverpool. But Liverpool kept their home record intact, still unbeaten in 65 games, although they have to a tricky fixture at the weekend against Crystal Palace.
Okay, for you, Jose Mourinho actually mentioned, when he was done and everything, you said they almost set up World War III after the game in the dugout. He told Jurgen Klopp that, look, they deserve to win because the better side actually lost. You watched the game so well, you saw what happened. Bergwijn, of course, he missed 2 clear chances that he could have buried. But he said the better side lost. What do you think?
Yes, with Mourinho, it's not really about philosophy, or it's just about results, and that is the thing about Tottenham. You know what they will do. The question is, can you stop them? So in his own thinking, the better team lost because they will rule their lost chances. They had 2 opportunities to be 3-1 up even, at about the 2nd minute, and they didn't take their chances. That could have changed the narrative of the game, to be fair.
True.
Could he have changed Harry Kane? He wasn't himself. He wasn't really himself at all through that game. The Harry Kane we've seen wasn't that kind of Harry Kane we saw last night.
Yeah, I think it had everything to do with the way they were set up because Sissoko was there and had to feed Harry Kane, and they had to keep dealing with the flex in the structure from defending, like packing the bus, to a counter-attacking, the way they usually play. So I guess Harry Kane probably tired legs yesterday, and Mourinho sort of delayed in the substitution for Dele Alli.
Yeah, you can say that again, tired legs and perhaps a tired head as well, because Harry Kane had a point-blank header that he missed right in front of the goalkeeper. One of the big, 3-4 big chances missed by Tottenham. Jose says Tottenham deserve to win. The best team lost. Jurgen Klopp is saying the exact thing this morning as well. Let's get the post-match thoughts of Jurgen Klopp after last night's win. Jurgen Klopp, absolutely, obviously delighted that they got all 3 points against Tottenham. Ada is still with us. Ada, let's talk about spare thoughts for Roberto Firmino. He's been ridiculed a lot, by a lot of fans for being a defensive striker, doesn't score a lot of goals. But yesterday, it turned out to be the hero for the Reds, and you can see the relief after scoring that late winner.
Yes, Firmino more or less just showed up for the fans, and you saw how he ran the full length of the pitch to celebrate with the few fans that were in the stadium. I was very happy for him because he had some missed half chances in the game as well. He was trying to prove himself. Yeah. He was trying to break through the very hard backline of Tottenham Hotspurs. It was good to see him back on the score sheet.
Ada, you were trying to react, to Jose's stuff because they had all the time to really win it, but they couldn't. But his reaction to this particular game, they had all the time, they couldn't win it. Maybe next time he would want to do something different because he said the way he actually set up defensive style of play, maybe it just haunted him or something.
I think it could have worked if they took their chances, like they did against Arsenal or Manchester City, for example.
Yeah.
Yes. But that is the bragging rights of the club himself, who is saying that this is Anfield, and whether you park a bus or a plane, football is always different at Anfield. So that is the battle between the managers there.
Yeah.
Okay. Big battle, you say.
Yeah, Liverpool showing great spirit. All the issues that they've had this season, they still find a way
to win
games and to be top of the Premier League. And let's leave that game now.
Arsenal.
Talk about Arsenal. You're in London. I don't know if you're an Arsenal fan, but Arsenal managed to stop the rot last night against Southampton. 1-1 it ended. Theo Walcott scoring against the former side. And quickly on Theo Walcott, celebrated wildly. What do you make of the celebration against a team where he spent the large chunk of his career?
Yes, it's an interesting one for Theo Walcott, almost like a catch-22, because Southampton is also his boyhood club.
Right.
Arsenal brought him directly from Southampton. So, he had left Arsenal to Everton, and now he's in Southampton. So it's not so recent that he left Arsenal. Celebrating the goal, it's like a headline grabber. Coming back to Arsenal to score and celebrating the goal, but we can forgive him for that. Arsenal fans forgive him.
You're saying you're an Arsenal fan. It seems you just agreed you're an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, she let it out without knowing.
All right, let's talk about Arsenal. Aubameyang, goal drought over first goal in 6 games. Gunners ending a run of 3 straight defeats. Another red card. 7th under Arteta. It seems there are more questions than answers when it comes to your club.
To be fair, the way the indiscipline problem has been at Arsenal, it's a big talking point. First, it was Pepe against Leeds, then Xhaka at the weekend, and now it is Gabriel. Although with Gabriel, it was 2 yellows, so he's only suspended for 1 game as opposed to 3 games. But it just makes you think about what Arteta is trying to do, and that how these indiscipline sort of stifles his efforts to rebuild the team, which I feel is what Arteta is trying to do with Arsenal.
Okay, interesting. Aubameyang, he got his goal. Tayo mentioned that earlier. Do you think with this one, because the coach was really proud of him, what he did, that's the only positive they can actually take from the game? The fact that they're having their captain and, of course, their top scorer last season, scoring again. Can he continue with this form?
Yes, I feel he has suffered a goal drought, and he came at the wrong time. He just signed, the best or really lucrative contract of his career, and now he has this problem with scoring goals. Last season, Arsenal relied heavily on his heroics, and that is the reason why Arsenal are sitting 15th in the table, 14 points off the summit this season, because Aubameyang is not scoring. So it's a huge relief to see Aubameyang back, scoring, and hopefully this will just help him get his flow and rhythm back.
Okay, let's move straight to today's game. We have some interesting games coming up tonight. Of course, Sheffield United, I mean, they haven't, I mean, it's been a very difficult season for them and all that. And we have someone who has a very soft spot for the Blades.
Sheffield,
but then they'll be up against another team who loves to win away from home. But when they're at home, it's hard for them to win. Manchester United up against them. Of course, Aston Villa and Burnley is another game. But Burnley, for them to be able to get a win against Arsenal at the Emirates is definitely going to be a boost for them. So which one will we get you talking in these two games for tonight?
I mean, worrying times for Sheffield United. They are still without a win in the Premier League. 12 games, 1 none, 1 draw, lost 11, only 1 point. I mean, they are really trailing badly. And even if they host Manchester United, they really have to play with heart in this game tonight. You know, Manchester United has, on the other hand, they have a 100% away win record in the league, and they'll be seeking to go and keep that up. I hope that Sheffield United can play for a point at home, but it will be an interesting one to watch, definitely.
Just a point. I mean, that would do them no good at this stage of the season. I don't think they'll be going all out for the win against Manchester United, because it's 1 point in 12 games. That's just appalling. I don't know, what do you think is going to happen in terms of the approach? Chris Wilder, fantastic debut season for the Blades last time out.
I think they would have to use the best tactics they feel based on Manchester United's recent form. We can see that they haven't dropped more than 2 points in their last 5 games, for example, with 4 wins. Manchester United is coming on a front foot. You know, Sheffield United, I feel, will be playing more cautiously at home and trying to keep the scoreline. You know, try to a large extent get a point from this game. I think that would be their best approach to this game.
Wow. Ada, before we let you go, let's get your thoughts on that. Generally, football is a high result-oriented business, and if you're not getting the results, there's a very, very big chance you lose your job. Do you understand why these owners sometimes don't have the patience for managers when results are not going their way?
Yes, because you have to look at things from different angles, you know, especially look at the history of the club. For example, if a club is a really big club, they might be quite impatient with a run of successive defeats or a poor run of form, and will want to change that pretty quickly. If a club is just coming up, their biggest fear will be going back down. And when you look at Leeds, Fulham, and West Brom Albion, the 3 recently promoted teams, you can see that Leeds seems to be, you know, making a better start than the other 2. And the West Brom managers will be thinking, we don't want to go back down. We don't want to be relegated. So I guess that was just a decision to stay up and get the services of someone they know is kind of built his expertise in staying up. But continuity is very important. Ole has talked about the patience that is required, especially with the pandemic, because even with the new rules, there's a new handball rule, new VAR rule. There was just a rule yesterday about substitute for concussions and all of that. Things are really changing in the game, and Ole is right that sometimes you need to give managers a bit of time to sort of acclimatize, you know, to the very, very strange times.
Strange times indeed, but football remains results oriented. Anyways, Ada Peters, many thanks for joining us on the show. Your debut was more than decent, I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Go to the paper side.
Yeah,
I'll start with the complete sports here. Leicester and Everton ended 2-0 in favor of Everton. It will be wins battle of brothers. Yeah, you have like 3 Nigerians in action last night, but none of them won the score sheet. So, but then the good thing is that it will be, you know, had a good game on the night. Awoni makes a strong case for Eagles call-up. Scores a wonderful, that hooping header against Union Berlin for Union and still get, you know, last night. Okay. Sporting Son is the last one from Indy. The mix. Okay, he got a car, you know, on his birthday. Good. All right. What do you have there?
Sporting Life, Iwobi grabs assist. Good to see Iwobi playing really well and establishing himself as a first-team starter for Everton. Now Benzema, the best French striker ever. That's according to Zinedine Zidane. Really? Are you being serious?
Yeah,
don't let Igwe hear that at all. Igwe mustn't hear that.
Yeah, I shouldn't.
What else? January transfer window, Liverpool to offer Van Dijk 5-year deal. Of course, it's not going anywhere. Manchester United in the hunt for David Alaba. Gabriel sees red. Didi plays a centre-back. Iheanacho involved for just 17 minutes. Couldn't rescue anything from that game for the Foxes.
Yeah. I think Leicester were just poor on the night. Okay, that's it for the show. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Do have a great day.
I am Tayo Salam. Enjoy the rest of your day.